Okay, so you're probably wondering why I did not talk about Firefest when it had come out and happened. Well, the thing is, I have no reason. You see, I could have made a video, but due to the nature of where I was and the house being, well, crowded, I didn't want to risk waking people up as much because I would be too busy excitedly talking about it, along with some of the issues that came with it. So, Fyter Fest was AEW mocking the whole Fire Festival that was basically a gigantic scam incident. Um, yeah. And there were certain things heading into this event. Like, we were originally supposed to get Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, against Pentagon Jr., Rey Fenix, and Pac. However, due to the nature surrounding Pac, they can't do that. I can probably get that Pac just feels this anger in him because considering the nature before he returned to the Independents, the last thing people remembered him was being told by WWE and Enzo Amore that you have done so much for us, but you don't mean jack to us. Which I'm pretty certain when Enzo told him that he hasn't sniffed the third hour, let alone the main event, let alone the third hour, I think that would set him off and say, yeah, you know what? If you're not going to respect me, I'll go. I will walk. So yeah, I could get if that's what's caused this Pac surge in him, that he feels the need that he has to win matches, especially as being Dragon Gate's champion, that he can't lose a match until he's like in his comfort zone a little bit more. It's still iffy on that subject. This is just a theory. I could have just made damning accusations that Pac will hunt me down, so please do not know where I live. Good. We're all friends here. So Fire Festival being the Insult the Fire Festival, where that botched event that was never going to be talked about again, was brought up again, and Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks just went to town on jokes with it. So basically, they're 100% actually trying to use comedy as a actual comedy as opposed to gross out humor because it's edgy. And here's the thing. Oh, before this event, after only one event, aka AEW Double or Nothing, WWE felt like they had to retaliate. So they had Sami Zayn go ahead and say, "You could have asked me anything. You could have asked me about AEW." Oh. And I was like, and I turned, and then like, and then a report came out that said Vince intentionally wrote the script to have that line be said because they wanted to be edgy and cool and say, "See, we're hip." And I was thinking to myself, and I would turn to Vince, and I'm pretty sure someone should have turned to Vince in this meeting, regardless of their position and possibility of being fired because of his attitude. I would have said, "Vince, what the actual fuck did you just say to us right now? Get out! Get out of my face!" Because that idea backfired so badly. Like, AEW search results blew up the moment that happened. Like, casual fans were just told, "Hey, you hear about this product that's a completely different alternative to our shitty product? Thanks for the free advertising, idiots." Like, I am surprised AEW did not like, hey, let's promote the competition. Let's promote that other company and not give and say their name. Like, I'm surprised they didn't do that. That would have been gold. But yeah, anyways, we get this event and it's free. Like, AEW is operating it a little differently. Like, they would have the major shows like Double or Nothing and All Out be paid pay-per-views, while events like Fighter Festival, and now it's been confirmed, Fight for the Fallen, which is tomorrow at the time of this recording, is going to be free. Free! here in America. America! And on Bleacher Report Live, which is based in Canada, has two. So yeah, the rest of the world will, outside of Canada and U.S., will have to pay $15. So at least it's not horribly expensive. Though of course the UK got lucky since they only had to pay $20 for big pay-per-view events, like we have to pay 60 or 50, depending on cable providers. So we got the SoCal Uncensored event, Best Friends and Private Party. Yeah, Private Party. This match would be very coming out party for Private Party. Like, the Best Friends would get the victory. SoCal Uncensored would be great as always. But Private Party really showed something here. Like, I never heard these guys. This is what AEW is trying to do. They're trying to introduce the unknown. Like, yeah, they need a couple of the big names. Like, they want to have big names on the show. But the emphasis is on the new guys. The unknown factor. And it was absolutely worth it. Like, I didn't know who Private Party was. In fact, a lot of people within my groups didn't know who Private Party was. We've seen the match, and we were hooked instantly to seeing awesomeness come out of them. And it was just an intense tag team match, and I really was rooting for Private Party to win. Like, I got the feeling they probably weren't going to win, but there was an actual stake involved in this. You see, the stake would be letting the winner of the match to get an opportunity in All Out to get a bye in the AEW Tag Team Title Tournament, which is scheduled to happen on AEW on TNT. So AEW is basically saying, okay, you see this buy-in that is basically the pre-show, and we know your history with WWE and how they rarely ever do stakes, and they do matches that should not be on the goddamn pre-show, like the Cruiserweights, because fuck Vince and his petty vindictiveness against his own son-in-law, which should seriously still be addressed. Yeah, basically they did this. Let's make a match that would be fit for pre-show. Let's actually treat the pre-show with some dignity and respect, and showcase the new talent, get some high stakes involved, and make people want to think this is an official, really paying attention moment for them. And it worked. Private Party was a coming out moment for them. And this show had 5,000 in attendance. They sold 4,200 tickets. Okay, you can be debate on that and whatnot, but really think about this from a business perspective. They had a 5,000 seat, 4,000 tickets sold. What was the TV build? There was no TV build. They have no TV yet. They've been using the internet. That's all they've been using. So the fact that they could use the internet alone and still sell out an arena in a short amount of time should say how much people want a difference. So, moving on. So, with the Best Friends being real freaking awesome, and SoCal Uncensored being awesome, and the Private Party having their come out party with this, it was really, really, really interesting how they went with this. But I wanted Private Party to win the second I was seeing them. And yeah, and Private Party even used a double team Hurricanrana cutter. Yeah. And then after the Best Friends won, we got the Dark Order. And about to make the Best Friends their first victim. Lights go out, they come back with 6 minions around the ring, then the lights go out a second time, they're all gone. Then Chuck and Trent of the Best Friends hug it out, and the crowd explodes. And I was like, oh man, like, at least it's not as, in my opinion, dumb like Kane and Bryan hugging. Like, I get Team Hell No was a good tag team run. I didn't like it because I didn't like Kane being this lovey, happy-go-lucky character, liking like okay, like it's been done before, but they never really had Kane be all nice and long walks on the beach and be used for comedy. It'd be more like that Frankenstein story, I think I would recall, or the Iron Giant, where everyone looks at him like he's a monster, but there's that one guy that he thinks he's a monster, and then there's that one guy that says, "You're not a monster. I can show you." And has a hard time trying to convince him, but endures throughout all this. So, anyways, after this, we have Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks going ahead and reporting that yeah, we lost our gear, and Kenny spent half the budget on gear, so they had to fire two of their models who were on stage to get replaced by mannequins. Okay, just remembering that, it's just hilarious. Like they had these beautiful women, these models, and people were complaining about that because that's just objectifying. Okay, let's see. You can continue being offended for them, or you could think, hey, do you think they gave their consent? Of course they gave their consent, and they're models, so really their point is to show off their looks. So really, like, they could have done wrestlers, and that would have been freaking stupid. But yeah. So, anyways, like they clearly had consent. They gave their consent to do this. But, you know, we had to find something evil, something dark in such a happy-go-lucky place. Because fuck the fans, right? From the offended community or the WWE loyalists who want AEW to go out of business because we can't imagine another company rising. And I'm just like, it's an alternative. It's not going to put WWE out of business financially wise. They're not the strongest they've ever been, albeit with blood money involved, but still. Really, the thing that kills them a lot with fans is the creativity problem, which hopefully is going to change. So yeah, with the Elite having financial difficulties thanks to Kenny Omega's recklessness, which I'm trying to wonder, this should definitely be a storyline where Kenny Omega is just making the shows worse and worse and worse, money wise. Like, I kind of spent the money. We don't have pyro, and that would have gotten fans booing Kenny for the first time in a long time because we want pyro, we want pyro, we want pyro. So yeah, that would have been funny. And then we get Levy Bates, and I had feeling I knew her and it's Blue Pants from NXT, so that was funny. Come as the librarian along with her fellow librarian cohorts, and they went ahead and mock comics and manga. Bastards. Anyways, but here's the thing. Everyone's been saying that the librarians is the weakest aspect of AEW. I can agree with that. I honestly thought the librarians were going to be this mockery on WWE's horrible obsession. At this point, so I'm calling it an obsession, for retcons and changing the books and changing the history. Because fuck logic and we need to retcon history even though we could just use the internet and our WWE network to solve all the continuity errors we make for every single second of the day. I'm pretty sure they're going to break the space-time continuum before Kronika can do it in the real world. Or Thanos. And, yeah. Like, they kept telling fans to stop playing video games and start reading books and then decided that comics and manga are not books. And this led to a mild, we can't read. We can't read. We can't read. And I was like, yeah. And then we get Ali, who was from Impact Wrestling, and they did a phenomenal way to get rid of her. They had her stabbed. Yeah, Impact is weird when it comes to Rosemary. So yeah, Levy Bates and Ali, like, really this was a squash match, an entertaining one at best. But really, it was to build Allie up because she has a big match at Fight for the Fallen with Brandy Rhodes, and they have to showcase her abilities. So they gave her some time to work with Levy Bates, and yeah, and fans were invested, so that helped boost up the thing. And oh man, so yeah, yeah, it still had its moments. The librarian gimmick is not really working on this unless they do the comedy aspect on the whole WWE retcon problem, which will be genius gold. And I will ask for royalty fees because I came up with this idea and no one else probably did. And I'm not meaning that in a joking manner. Would I lie? Anyways, so then we get Kenny Omega back, walking around with drums and a bunch of chords, but then was informed that all the bands that got booked dropped out, including Blink 182. That was depressing, and I was like, okay, so did they fucking blew the budget again, Kenny? Oh wait, you're the financial expert here, so clearly you're the one that blew it, didn't you? So yeah, oh man. Um, then we get this insane hardcore match between Michael Nakazawa and Alex Jebley, I think. And this was apparently supposed to happen at last year's CEO show. Yeah, a lot of people seem to have not liked to acknowledge that part. Here's the thing. Someone was talking to me and we were conversing back and forth on this. But they were saying how why would they go from this grand 10,000 or 20,000 seat arena only to go down 5,000? And I was like, well, it's not really that. I think it's more along the lines because it's also a convention, so clearly they can't have the entire arena to do it. So it's a conventional arena, not a big wrestling stadium they could use. But anyway, so yeah, so this is a co-branded event between AEW and CEO, and Alex goes ahead and is lead and was supposed to have this match, but then he suffered an Achilles tendon, so that sucked. Uh, okay, this match was not good in terms of technical ways. I think it's just more like, alright, this was funny. But there were some things that were a little But it seems Michael Nakazawa is very interested in being more over the top character instead of a full-fledged legit competitor. Like, Michael Nakazawa goes ahead and starts choking Alex with a Nintendo GameCube controller over the cord. And I was like, is that a GameCube controller? And then he goes ahead and pulls out a stack of Legos all over the floor. And wow. And then Nakazawa has a woman's thong. And it's just so, wait, what? So, yeah. So yeah, that was the official end of the pre-show, aka the buy-in, and then we get Jim Ross join them as the show officially begins. He's joined by Excalibur and Golden Boy, and yeah. So we get Chima, I'm pretty sure I butchered that name, and Christopher Daniels fighting, and yeah. This was a solid 9-minute match. It wasn't really long. It probably could have went a little bit longer for me, but they had more of a time limit as opposed to the WWE Network, so I could probably forgive them for that. At least it wasn't as bad as what would happen later in the night. So yeah, they had a very okay match. It wasn't really spectacular like their 6-man tag team match was between SCU and Strong Hearts. but it was good for what it was. It was short, sweet to an extent. Um, Shima would eventually get the victory over Christopher Daniels. They go ahead and have a show of respect for one another, and that's really it. Like, they didn't really do big stuff in it. So yeah. So then we get the women's match, and between Rio, Nyla Rose, and Yuki, whatever. I'm not gonna try to pronounce that last name. But here's the thing I am gonna say. Apparently there was an incident at Double or Nothing where how do I explain this carefully? Okay, someone was attacking the Nyla Rose because of her transgendered status. I think it was. Wait, let me just double check so I don't make any mistakes here. Yeah, she's transgendered, and they were saying like, "This is unfair. This isn't fair. She's transgendered. That doesn't count. That gives them an unfair advantage." Luckily, the Young Bucks acknowledged this guy and said, "Oh, you're banned for life." But yeah, I was like thinking to myself, is like, this is scripted. If this was a legitimate competitive wrestling event, I don't know how the legal system works on that, so I'm not an expert on that. But this was all staged. You're treating this like, because she's really a transgendered, that gives her an unfair advantage on a scripted format. What? But yeah, anyways. So this women's matchup was pretty good. I kind of knew Nyla Rose was going to be the beast in the match because, well, we need that big monster heel thing in order to make it work. Yeah, so, yeah, Nyla Rose goes ahead and just decimates everybody from time to time. This lasted for 12 minutes and 30 seconds, and yeah, like Rio and Yuki were working together trying to take her out, and then Nyla leaped to the top rope, came off of it with a diving knee to Rio. When she was by the ring ropes, and this led to the holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit chant. And however, she didn't make the cover. When she went back in the rope, she was momentarily cut off by Yuka, and she went for a swanton bomb, but Rio rolled out of the way. Nyla did catch both of them at the same time, though, after attempted top rope crossbody, but that led to both Rio and Yuka getting a simultaneous 2 count on Nyla, which would have been interesting to see how that went. Like, a lot. But then we see Nyla about to go for one beast bomb, and then Rio shocks everyone by getting a sudden surprising 3 count on the beast of a woman. And Nyla then attempted to attack Rio, but Yuka made the save. Rio shoved Yuka down and rocked away, and we had tears. Genuine emotion for characters. So beautiful. And then we're joined by commentary for Kip Sabian, the first ever wrestler to compete in the first ever match in AEW, even though I consider All In to be the first official AEW event, even though it's unofficial and not declared illegally yet. Try saying that fast. We get Hangman Page, MJF, Jungle Boy, Jimmy Havoc in a fatal 4-way match, and I was like, my God. The golden quality that we could get from these 4. Oh, and MJF goes ahead and talks about how he lost his virginity after he used to love video games. Yeah, MJF tends to live by the character, so it's not surprising that he's able to piss people off so easily. Makes me does wish, though, that imagine Miz left WWE, which will likely never happen, regardless of how he's being booked as a face lately. But imagine if he did leave, goes to AEW, and we get the promos to end all promos between MJF and The Miz. That would be freaking awesome. And yeah, Hangman Page, MJF, and Jungle Boy and Jimmy Havoc, they were ready to start beating each other down, mostly on MJF because of what happened last month. And yeah, like, I was a little when Hangman Page defeated Havoc. I was thinking MJF was going to take the fall or Jungle Boy because, well, Havoc is I kind of want to see Havoc and John Moxley kill each other, so to speak, eventually, and I felt like he needed to get a victory here. But I get that Hangman Page had to win this match because they're building him up for the eventual match at All Out between him and Jericho for the first ever AEW Championship. So, okay, I'll forgive them for that. And then we get Cody Rhodes versus Darby Allin. Now, the match was awesome. Quality performances. Cody's just as great. Darby was an unknown I never heard of. Loved his wrestling. Loved his style. Loved his dark persona. But that sadly was blackened by a moment. Now, you see, what happened was, this was a 20-minute time limit. And then they had a draw. When the time ran out, Cody almost won. But this protected both of them because they have because Cody has a big important match and they want Darby Allin to look strong. And then something happened after the match and after the time limit. Brandy and Cody were demanding 5 more minutes for the match to happen, but before anything could happen, Shawn Spears came out and nailed Cody on the head with an unprotected chair shot. Okay, so let's get into that. Now, this is the part where people will probably accuse me of going ahead and defending AEW for doing a chair shot and whatnot, and I'm just going to say no. I don't agree with doing a chair shot to the head given all the circumstances surrounding it. Like, if this was like 10, 12 years ago, I would be like, fuck yeah! But given the nature of what happened to Chris Benoit, what happened to other wrestlers, what happened to Bryan's concussion history, and CTE, and all the brain damage that could come from it. Yeah, okay, so the Young Bucks and Tony Khan were all saying after the event that this was planned, this was gimmicked, the chair was gimmicked, however, something went wrong. Now, here's the thing. I could probably buy that because when I saw certain photos that came out that showed different angles of the arena of showing people how that chair shot went, it clearly was going to just strike the head, strike the forehead at best. However, when the chair shot went, the seat part of it bent it a bit and scraped the back of Cody's head, causing some skin to peel off badly and cut him open in the back. So I can probably get that maybe there was a mistimed issue or maybe Cody moved too fast. But clearly you could see some images I saw. There were some on Instagram and I think some were posted on Twitter where the chair seat bent it a bit and it scratched the back of his head. It has been confirmed that, yes, he has no concussion, so we're good on that. But, yeah. This probably will never happen again. And I hope they stick to that. Like they can't just retcon it out of existence. That's not what they're going to do. They're calling Shawn Spears the chairman now, which is kind of hilarious, but given the context, it doesn't really look good. But I get that they could theoretically retcon this out of existence and say it didn't happen, but that would be insulting the fans because they have to say, That did happen. You can't just sweep it under the rug. You're not WWE like that. So yeah, and like let's be real. But here's the thing that really kind of annoyed me after the event was fans were treating this like this was the worst thing to ever happen in wrestling. Like, I get the safety need of the wrestlers, but this is not the worst thing that happened in wrestling regarding when they went too far with the hardcore style of wrestling. Like, I had saw a clip and I posted it on Twitter, reposted it, where I wrote fans saying like AEW went too far, and I was like, they could have done much worse, because the clip was probably CZW, Combat Zone Wrestling, showing a wrestler slamming nails into some guy's head and then letting go, and the nails are just bouncing around in his skull. And I was like, see, the evidence! This is not the worst. A chair shot to the head, while bad and royally not should have happened, they could have done anything different. That was not the worst thing. Like, there's a video where a wrestler got his forehead impaled with nails. Long nails. And you're saying a chair shot was the worst thing that happened in all of wrestling? Besides Chris Benoit, but still. You're saying one chair shot that was clearly mistimed and the chair bent badly does enough to scar Cody's back head, but this is worse than having someone slam nails into your skull. So much so that it's bouncing and shaking. Yeah. CCW can get odd when it comes to the extreme style. In fact, just watch all of Jon Moxley's past matches there. Like, oh man, it's amazing he's still able to go on a high level even after having drills into his skull, sharp electric razors cutting into him, a knife, I think, cutting his tongue, skin peeling, blood loss so much that you should technically be dead. Yeah, it's amazing that it's lasted that he managed to make it. It still has a huge future ahead of him. But yeah, SoCal Uncensored and MJF came out for support, and that leads to a problem because at Fight for the Fallen, MJF is going to team up with Shawn Spears, and I was like, gasp! Could this be the first ever AEW retcon? I'll get the button. Hopefully they explain why MJF is doing this, and I seriously hope that this leads to something after during the match where MJF is like, look, I may be an asshole, but Cody's my friend. So then we get to the last official match of the night, since the main event is non-sanctioned. I'll get to that. The Young Bucks and Kenny Omega came out dressed up in Street Fighter outfits. The Young Bucks go ahead, Ryu and Ken, and then a fan came out and started dancing like Batista, and Omega laid him out. Okay, I know people are annoyed a little bit with AEW's constant mocking of WWE. I understand that. But it's just hilarious. Everything they do is hilarious. And this is the guy that's generating 6-star plus matches. Oh, man. They would fight Pentagon Jr., the Lucha Brothers, and Ray Phoenix against El Laredo Kid. Since Pac was cut off from the show. In fact, he's not even in AEW officially now. Tragic. We'll see him probably later down the road, since they did do the first official match between Hangman and Pac. But anyways, so we get this one awesome moment where Justin Roberts yells out, "Round 1, fight!" And everyone was hoping that they would get health bars. We want health bars. We want health bars. So yeah, let's see. The match starts. Let's see. It's been 30 seconds. Let's see. We're already in the wild stage. Okay, that was quick. So, yeah, we get Northern Light suplexes. We get the attack from the Street Fighter gang. Yeah, like the Elite are fun. The Elite are just so freaking hilarious. And like I get some people want them to be serious, and I get that, but they're just so hilarious at what they do. And they can show they can get serious. Like we saw that at Double or Nothing at their past events when they were in Japan and Ring of Honor. So yeah, this 6-man tag team match was. Oh man, this was fun. This was a fun 6-man tag team match. They gave it a 30-minute time limit, but they managed to succeed in 20 minutes. And the crowd was just so energetic. I missed that. But it was so hilarious. The Elite won. That wasn't surprising. Now, people are probably wondering, wait, you didn't mention the tag team belts that the Young Bucks had. The AAA, the AAA tag team belt. Oh, well, you see, that's a fine, logical explanation. They lost it about 2 weeks after the Double or Nothing event to the Lucha Bros. Pardon. Yeah, that was the thing that bugged me a little bit. I was like, so are we going to get a rematch at All Out where the Young Bucks drop the titles? I was hoping for that because that match was awesome. And then they just lose it 2 weeks later after their first AEW event that they run. And that probably would rub people the wrong way. Like they won't lose it in AEW, but they'll lose it in AAA. The shittiness could kind of exist if you really want to think about that. But yeah. So yeah, this match was pure pandemonium, but there would be one more match. Ooh. Jon Moxley versus Joey Janelle in an unsanctioned match. So let's see if I get this straight. You're going to have Jon Moxley, who is well known for hardcore wrestling, was even supposed to fight Mankind, Mick Foley, Cactus Jack, Dude Love, whatever you want to call him. And you're going to have him put in a match with Joey Janelle, who has a history of almost killing himself in the ring on a dozen or so occasions. And even got a table spot where he landed on his neck, then walked out just fine. So, I had written a tweet where I pretended to be AEW management and then comment what Joey Janelle and Moxley probably said, and this is what I said. So, Moxley, Janelle, how destructive do you want your match to be? Yes. Okay then. Because that's the only way I could hear what happened in that meeting. When they were told, okay, you two are going to fight each other. How destructive do you want this match to be? Yes. Okay. So, yeah, we were in for something. And they even don't want to pretend this is a wrestling match. This was a straight up hardcore fight match. And Janelle just suddenly used someone's prosthetic leg early on. And then we get thumbtacks. We get a barbed wire covered chair. And oh my god. And even and like fans were chanting, "You sick fuck! You sick fuck! You sick fuck!" And at John Moxley, and I was like, okay, this is not the worst thing John Moxley did. Watch his CZW days, and then come back with me if you want to call him a sick fuck. Then they set up a barbed wire board, Death Valley drivers all over the place. Moxley and Janelle just trying to kill each other. And then they get thumbtacks. And then they get to this very dark place where Moxley rips out Janelle's boots and have him land on the thumbtack's feet first. Oh man, that was cringe painfully worthy. So yeah. Yeah, so yeah, this got very bloody and intense. Like Moxley at the end after the match posted pictures of his scarred up back, and I was just posting a clip of John Moxley with his "I'm just a sick guy" promo he cut back in the day. Maybe you should do another one again, remaster it for 2019. So yeah, moving on. Janelle is dead again. I'm pretty sure he'll defeat Jesus' respawn time if it comes to it. And then we get Kenny Omega charging down the ring, attacking Moxley, running with a running V-trigger, and then they're brawling all over the arena, and then they start bashing, and Kenny starts bashing Moxley with the band set equipment that was supposed to go to a band that called out because Kenny fucking sucks at financial stuff. The referee's trying to help Moxley. Moxley shoves them away, and then Kenny attacks him again with a trash can to continue beating until and then Omega dropped him in a DDT on the trash can, and then we get Moxley at the end closing it. We see the camera closing up on Moxley. It's like, like he's reveling in like, oh god, this is so fun. I'm free. Like, that has to be what's running through Moxley's head. Like, really think about this. He's getting to go back to his comfort zone. He's allowed to be himself again. He's having fun. He's working with some of the best damn talent you got. And he's not restricted. To the detriment. So, yeah, that's Fyter Fest for you. It was insane. It was chaotic. It had a black mark on it with the chair shot. We got an unsanctioned match that was freaking awesome. We got John Moxley and Joey Janelle trying to outdo one another in the "I'm gonna kill you" department. We got the Elite just having fun. We got Pentagon Jr., Ray Phoenix, and Lacido, whatever. I can't pronounce it. I'm not going to try to again. And it's just fun throughout all this. That's the thing. AEW is just having fun. And WWE, however, is taking it so seriously that they've inadvertently promoted the show and the company because Vince is a moron who clearly doesn't know how advertising 101 works anymore. No, seriously. This is the same mistake he pulled back in the 90s. With the whole Ted Turner vignettes they made, where they attacked their once aging roster that was with people that they worked for Vince. And that was like, Vince, you're just telling them there's another product. Stop. Like, I get that Ted Turner and Eric Bischoff just thought they were hilarious, and I get that. But if this happened today, I'm pretty sure they would still find it hilarious. But fans would be like, wow, Vince, you're just that stupid, aren't you? Like, even Hulk Hogan, as much as I hate the guy, admitted that he was told by fans when they saw the whole Hulk Hogan wash-up guy, they were like, is he really washed up? I'm going to turn on to Nitro and see. And I was like, that should have been an epiphany for Vince when he realized, oh, shit. And that was the internet, and him mentioning AEW on the mainstream product, and with casuals who probably didn't hear about it until literally when he said that, when Sami Zayn called it out. They didn't think this through again. So yeah, Fyter Fest was a success financially again. It was a fun show. A lot of unknown talent got their big spotlight. In fact, a lot of people speculate that the reason why the Street Profits even showed up on Raw suddenly out of nowhere, despite being tag team champions, and that's definitely not going to be a sign of worrisome, was because of Private Party, and they were like, okay, we need to retaliate. Let's get Private Party on the main roster. And I'm pretty sure Triple H, when that meeting happened, was like, must not think with my sledgehammer, must not think with my sledgehammer, must not think with my sledgehammer, must not think with my sledgehammer. Okay, I'm cool. Nope, I gotta leave. I need to think with my sledgehammer. So yeah, I'm pretty sure Triple H is right now still thinking he needs to use a sledgehammer eventually on Vince, Dunn, and anyone else who damn well agrees with Vince's logic. But yeah. And now I'm hearing word that WWE is actually now considering putting NXT on Fox on Wednesday nights at the same time as AEW on TNT, which is also said to be on Wednesday nights now. You still want to think there's no such thing as a Wednesday night war coming? AEW didn't ask for a war. Yeah, they're joking and they're mocking Vince and his stupidity, which I'm all for, but they just wanted to focus on themselves. Vince is making the focus on them. So go ahead, Vince. Keep acting like a dumbass and promoting them and inadvertently and drawing more people to realize, hey, I don't need to have my intelligence insulted anymore. There's another place to go to AEW. So, yeah, Vince McMahon has failed at Marketing 101 now, so we can list that off of his education. And also, we need to take away his corporate privileges. Though, of course, if that happened, the stock investors would have done it something by now. So, yeah, a Fyter Fest, fun show. It was not going to be the biggest show they had. That's probably going to be saved for all their paid pay-per-view events. But it was a great way to introduce people to AEW on a with the free platform they're doing it, and I can't wait for Fight for the Fallen, especially when we get the Rhodes Brothers against the Young Bucks. That's going to be a heavily emotional match, I can assure you, considering, and the Young Bucks having fun with it since I need my other brother. Should have gone to NXT. Yeah, that's what someone said when they were offered that contract. But yeah, so the event was fun. Yeah, it was good for a free event. I'm actually glad he did it for free, because if this was the same price as Double or Nothing, I would be like, okay, that's going to be a problem for eternity, so long as AEW exists. Because $50 a month per month, that's going to catch up. Which is why I'm hoping they do a subscription service, or they just do the free, or they do the gap of free here, pays here. So those are my thoughts on AEW's second event, Fyter Fest. This was Neo Reality Entertainment. So if you like, comment, subscribe, and donate to for more, I'll see you at Fight for the Fallen, and we're going to be doing the return of the Elite of Wrestling.